Okay, the last two systems that we are going to go over is the immune and nervous systems. So our essential question is, how does the immune and nervous system work with all other systems? So our learning target is target 15, explain and model the organs and functions of the nervous and immune system. Okay, so let's first start off with our nervous system. So the nervous system function is basically to determine how your body responds to the environment or stimuli. Okay, so basically our nervous system is going to take in information from our sensors and basically process that. Okay, the basic functioning unit for the nerve system is a nerve cell or neuron. Now, we've seen pictures of a nerve cell before. Okay, so remember in our we did a lab on cell shape and structure, and you guys had to look at a nerve cell under a microscope. Well, the nerve cell is pretty unique. Okay, the nerve cell is made up of three things: dendrites, axons, and it has a synapse. Okay, the dendrites receive information from other nerve cells. So in purple, these little branches, these are all dendrites, and they are connected to other nerve cells. And that's where messages are going to be sent from one neuron to the next. So dendrites are going to receive information from other nerve cells. The axon is this long piece right here of the nerve cell. Let me show it to you when we get down there. Okay, the axon goes all the way down here, and then it's these little branches at the end of the nerve cell. They're going to carry the information, and that's the typo right there. They're going to carry the information from this nerve cell to the next nerve cell. So axons connect to other nerve cells, dendrites. Now, the nerve cells do not touch. So in order to send and receive message, you would think that they would need to touch, but they don't. What they have is what's called a synapse, which is a space between the nerve cells where information is transmitted. So it's actually a gap between nerve cells. Now, just so you know, these are some other pictures. This is what our nerve cells, you guys saw these under the microscope. That's what a nerve cell looks like. Okay, the synapse, okay, this is an axon, and the surface of the next neuron could be the dendrite. That's that space, that synapse right there where information, what you see in pink, is being transmitted. And they're showing you where that synapse is. It's located at the end of the axon. Okay, there's two major parts to our nervous system: the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The central nervous system is made up solely of your brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system is nerves outside of the central nervous system. So if you take a look at this picture, okay, the central nervous system is just your brain and spinal cord and the tan part right here. And then the peripheral nervous system is all the nerves that connect to your brain and spinal cord and go to the rest of your body. Now, the thing we have to realize is that our nervous system, specifically when we talk about the organ of the brain, it's basically going to control and direct the human body. So the nervous system works with all other body systems. And it's what's going to let you know, hey, digestive system, let's start doing this. Respiratory system, let's start breathing faster. I need more oxygen. So it's going to work with all the other body systems. It's pretty much going to send and receive messages throughout every system. That's why nerve cells are connected to all other systems. Even in your bones, you've got nerve cells in your bones that are connected to your skeletal system. This gives you an idea of what your brain is made up of, and it actually shows you just areas of your brain, what they control. Okay, so if you look here, you've got the sensory area, your language and vision area right here. Okay, your hearing. Okay, so if you damage any part of the brain that is in this area, you can have damage to your hearing, vision. Okay, balance is specifically in the cerebellum. Just so you guys know, the brain is made up of three parts: the brainstem right down here, the cerebellum right here, which controls your balance, and then the rest of the mass is the cerebrum. Okay, the last system we're going to talk about is your immune system. Your immune system is a line of defense against pathogens. Remember, pathogens are anything that can cause a disease. So pathogens can be from bacteria, protists, fungi, and viruses. You have different levels of defense. The first line of defense is our skin. Our skin is what protects us from things coming inside our body. So our skin's our first line of defense. Your respiratory system, okay, when you breathe in things, you can breathe in a virus. That's what your respiratory system kind of tries to protect against that. Your digestive system, if you eat or drink something that has a bacteria or protist in it, your digestive system probably tries to get rid of it before it can affect you. And then in your circulatory system, you have the white blood cells that will specifically target pathogens and try to destroy them. Now, when you look at our immune system, there's certain ways that we can develop immunities. An antibody is a protein that's made in response to a pathogen. It will attach to the pathogen and make it useless. This is called active immunity. So whenever you get the flu, that flu virus, after you've had it, your body has developed an antibody so that the next time you get that exact flu virus, your white blood cells will recognize it and attack it before it can cause any damage. Now, you might be saying to me, okay, well, I get the flu almost every year. Why don't I have any antibodies for it? Well, you do. You have tons of antibodies for the flu virus. The problem is viruses mutate. And when they mutate, they change. And when they change, then your body doesn't recognize them. So that's why, unfortunately, we get the flu every year. Or if you have a really good immune system, maybe you don't. So that's what an antibody is. So anytime you get sick from something, your body produces an antibody to help recognize against future infections. Now, vaccination is what we call passive immunity. The reason why it's passive immunity is because this isn't something that your body naturally develops an immunity to. This is something that is given to you. So vaccination is an injection of part of a pathogen so the body makes an antibody to recognize it in the future. For example, when you get a measles vaccination, you're going to get part of the measles virus injected into your blood system, and then your white blood cells will recognize it, produce an antibody, and then you'll be prepared for it in the future. And remember, when you do get a vaccination, if you're only getting part of the pathogen, it's not going to cause as much damage. So your body can fight it off really quickly versus getting a whole virus. So that's what a passive immunity is a vaccination. That's something that is given to you to help your immune system. Active immunity is something your body naturally does. So when you get sick, your body develops an antibody. Okay, so when we look at getting sick, we've got two different types of diseases, non-communicable and communicable diseases. They're also called non-infectious diseases or infectious diseases. So non-communicable or non-infectious diseases are diseases that cannot be passed from person to person. So you can't catch this from somebody, or you can't catch it from another animal or something else. So examples of things that can't be passed down are diabetes, allergies, asthma, cancer. So if somebody has asthma in your class, you're not going to be able to get the asthma from them. Same thing with allergies and diabetes and cancer. Now, communicable diseases are also known as infectious diseases, are diseases that can be passed from person to person. So examples of communicable disease are the nasty STDs, which are sexually transmitted diseases. AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease. It's classified as that. That is the one that you could, right now we have no cure from, so you can die from that. So that's a communicable disease. The flu, a common cold, those are all communicable diseases. Now you may ask yourself, well, how do we get these communicable diseases? Well, there's things called biological vectors. Okay, biological vectors are diseases that are spread by direct contact with the infected person or living thing through water, air, food, or actual direct contact. So biological vectors are, of course, humans, because we can pass things from one person to the next. Humans can get diseases from rats, birds, cats, dogs, mosquitoes, fleas, flies. Those are all living things that can pass on diseases from one living thing to the next. So I've got this little sign for you to, and you probably see these around our school, ways to help reduce passing on these infectious or communicable diseases. Make sure we always wash our hands, especially after going to the restroom. Okay. Make sure we clean our surfaces if you're touching a surface often. That's why we clean our lunch tables. Okay. Teachers who use our work surfaces and our computers and keyboards and our doors and knobs, we always want to make sure we wash those. Okay, we've talked about this before when we had the H1N1 break out of the flu, coughing into your sleeve and not your hands. That means the germs won't be put on your hands, they'll be put on your clothes, which is a lot harder to transmit. So just some good basic rules on how to prevent transmitting diseases. Okay, well that concludes our notes on the nervous system and immune system.